Look, if you're a corporate financial analyst, a portfolio manager, or a CFO, you've probably been watching this whole artificial intelligence market with a mix of absolute awe and, let's be real, some deep underlying skepticism. The question on everyone's mind isn't whether AI is a transformative technology. I mean, it clearly is. The real question is whether these current investment levels are financially sustainable. So today, we're stripping away the hype. We're going to do a rigorous data-backed evaluation of the AI macroeconomic reality.
$320 billion. Just let that sink in for a second. That is the projected combined capital expenditure for 2025 from just 4 hyperscalers: Microsoft, Google, Amazon, and Meta. What's truly unprecedented here isn't just the absolute size of that number, it's the sheer velocity of this capital deployment. To put that into perspective, at the very peak of the dot-com bubble back in 2000, total U.S. tech infrastructure spending was around $150 billion for the entire year. Today, just 4 companies are doubling that.
And honestly, by the very next year, that projected combined spend blows right past the $500 billion mark. This escalation is being driven heavily by a total arms race mentality. It's competitive fear, right? The sense that falling behind in frontier AI models could be literally existentially costly for these tech giants. It's short-circuiting normal capital allocation discipline. They're spending defensively just as much as offensively.
But wait, it gets crazier. Driving this escalation even further is a staggering pledge: $1 trillion. That's the total AI infrastructure investment pledged by the Stargate Consortium, which involves OpenAI, SoftBank, and Oracle over the next 4 years. This absolute avalanche of capital forces us to ask the single most critical question of our analysis today: can AI monetize fast enough to actually justify this scale of investment?
So, to answer that systematically, here's our roadmap for today's briefing. We're going to cover the AI CAPEX explosion, evaluate the missing revenue gap, analyze the physical bottlenecks delaying returns, look at some historical precedents, weigh the correction probabilities, and finally, assess the corporate macroeconomic impact.
Let's start with Section 1, the AI CAPEX explosion and this unprecedented capital velocity.
The core thesis here is that the magnitude of capital flowing into AI infrastructure is historically unprecedented. To really ground our analysis, we're drawing heavily from some comprehensive research by Virtualization Options LLC, which synthesizes warnings from a growing chorus of major financial institutions. We're talking major banks, industry analysts, and even the hyperscalers themselves beginning to quietly sound the alarm. You see, when rivals feel compelled to match every massive data center announcement just out of a fear of competitive lock-in, the normal rules of financial modeling get stretched to their absolute breaking point. We aren't just looking at irrational exuberance here. We're looking at rational actors who feel structurally compelled to keep investing, even as they privately question their own near-term returns.
Moving on to Section 2, the missing revenue gap. This is our $600 billion reality check.
Okay, this is where the math gets, frankly, incredibly tricky for us analysts. We're looking at a massive, undeniable gulf between the pace of capital deployment and the reality of near-term revenue realization. Goldman Sachs research explicitly called out this huge discrepancy between the $1 trillion cost of the AI build-out and the limited evidence of returns. Adding to this, venture capital firm Sequoia Capital estimated that AI companies collectively need to generate at least $600 billion and potentially over $1 trillion in annual revenue just to justify the compute infrastructure being built right now. That required revenue? It represents roughly 100% of the entire global software industry's current revenue. That is an order of magnitude problem.
To put a face on this gap, let's look at the company that kicked this whole thing off. By 2025, OpenAI achieved a super impressive $3.4 billion in annualized revenue. But look at the other side of the equation. Their estimated annual compute costs alone sit between $4 to $7 billion. So, the crucial takeaway here is this: even the absolute frontier model provider, the company most responsible for AI's commercial emergence, is currently deeply cash flow negative. The math at scale simply doesn't work yet.
Which brings us to Section 3, physical bottlenecks and slipping ROI timelines.
You see, this revenue gap is being actively compounded by structural roadblocks in the physical world. Even if the software demand is there, the infrastructure timeline is slipping, and that's forcing multi-year delays into our financial models. For instance, you just cannot run a data center without power. The interconnection queue is the backlog of requests to connect massive new loads to the electricity grid. Across the US, this backlog recently topped 2,600 gigawatts. What does that actually mean for your financial models? Well, it introduces a massive 5 to 7 year delay. New hyperscale campuses that need 100 plus megawatts of power are facing queues that won't resolve until 2028 or even 2030. The capital is committed today, for sure, but it simply cannot produce operational AI capacity on the assumed timelines.
And the power grid isn't the only hurdle. We're seeing 20-year highs in construction labor shortages for the electrical trades, delaying projects by a good 12 to 18 months. There are extreme water and cooling constraints triggering intense regulatory scrutiny. In fact, average permitting timelines for hyperscale data centers have absolutely skyrocketed, from 8 months in 2020 to 22 months today. That's a 175% increase. When ROI timelines slip this drastically, the financial pressure on that committed capital intensifies exponentially.
Let's look at Section 4, Historical Precedents, comparing the dot-com era to AI.
As financial analysts, our brains naturally want to benchmark this against the 1990s dot-com bubble or the 2000s telecom fiber buildout. But understanding what's different this time is absolutely key. Unlike the dot-com era, which was largely pre-revenue and driven by retail and VC investors, or even the crypto bubble, which had pretty minimal revenue, AI actually has a moderate and growing revenue floor. Plus, AI is backed by highly sophisticated institutional investors. This structural difference definitely supports the thesis that a correction might be less severe than that brutal 78% NASDAQ decline we saw in 2000, but it doesn't eliminate the risk entirely.
Another critical comparison we have to make is the 2008 financial crisis. Back in 2008, highly leveraged financial intermediaries created a systemic credit risk that nearly collapsed the global economy. Today's AI debt, it's completely different. It's backed by what we call fortress balance sheets. We're talking about companies like Microsoft, Alphabet, Amazon, and Meta holding tens to hundreds of billions in cash reserves. They can totally sustain multi-year investment cycles that run operating negative without facing any sort of existential bankruptcy risk.
All right, Section 5, Correction Probabilities and Weighing the Outcomes.
With all that structural analysis in our toolkit, we can pivot to some actionable scenario modeling. As financial analysts, we need hard probability weights to risk adjust our tech portfolios, right? Based on the synthesized data, here's the most probable breakdown. There's a 35% chance of a soft landing, where revenue manages to catch up to the CapEx pace within 3 years. There's a 20% chance of a severe correction. That'd be a drop of over 60%, but it would require a confluence of adverse events, like some major macro tightening. But the most likely scenario, sitting at 45%, is a partial correction. This would look like a 30 to 50% drawdown in AI-adjacent equities, followed by a fairly painful 2 to 3 year consolidation phase before recovering. So probable, but not catastrophic.
And finally, Section 6, Corporate Impact and Macroeconomic Transmission.
So what does the 45% probability of a partial correction actually mean for you? And how does this trickle down into everyday enterprise SaaS spending? The pivotal question we have to ask is this: does this stay contained within the tech equity markets, or does an AI bubble burst spill over into a broader economic recession?
Well, the evidence heavily points away from systemic risk, largely because of those fortress balance sheets we just talked about. Instead, we should probably expect a moderate spillover. Historically speaking, a 30 to 50% tech drawdown reduces overall GDP growth by about 0.3 to 0.7 percentage points. But, and this is the big one for corporate analysts, this outcome is going to trigger some massive scrutiny on the $5.26 trillion global enterprise tech budget. If the perceived ROI of AI drops, companies are going to defer discretionary SaaS and IT spending straight across the board just to weather the storm.
Which leaves us with this final thought. The data strongly suggests an AI adjustment is coming. The infrastructure is just being built way faster than the physical grid can support, and honestly, faster than end users can actually pay for it. So, portfolio managers and CFOs, my challenge to you is this. When the AI bubble partially corrects, how will your enterprise rationalize its broader SaaS and infrastructure spending? The time to stress test your tech sector risk models is today, not when that interconnection queue finally catches up with reality. Thanks so much for joining me today. Keep learning, keep analyzing, and I'll see you next time.